When it comes to agricultural diversity, Thomas and Melissa Ellis of Lowndes County cracked the mold. Not only does Triple E Farm excel in beef cattle and poultry production, but their Priester's Pecans is known far and wide for a variety of delicious shelled nuts, candies, and confections.
In the past, we've raised Key Angus bulls and heifers, and we're currently swapping our herd over to a crossbred herd with Bringer bulls, and we have our first crop of Brangus cross calves on the ground with out of those Key Angus cows. So they're looking really good. And my wife and I, Melissa, and both of us have worked in a family business that bought in-shell pecans from South Alabama and Georgia since the 1935, a long, long time. And my grandfather and dad and now myself and the fourth generation and our sons are working at Priester's Pecans here, where we buy those pecans, crack, process them, sort all the pieces and get those ready to be packaged into packages that are sold either to consumers retail through our website or through our catalog. We make and produce all types of candy, pecan pies, things that hopefully people really enjoy with old-fashioned recipes, and we sell those the same way through our website.
Triple E Farm began in 1981 when Thomas bought part of a commercial beef herd from the widow of a respected cattleman. 2 years later, he and Melissa built their first poultry houses. Today, the operation spans 1,000 acres and includes a 50-cow beef herd, 1,000 head of stocker cattle annually, and 3 poultry houses producing almost 400,000 chickens a year. Meanwhile, Priester's Pecans cracks, shells, and processes more than 1.5 million pounds of gift-quality nuts each season.
Well, I feel like, my wife and I both, that we're just maintaining what we're given the opportunity to have, whether it's Priester's and the business here or the land for our children and grandchildren, of course. So we've tried our best to take good care of that, and through that had the opportunity to take advantage of some programs that they're on the farm that we've done for fencing and water troughs and that sort of thing. But we've also done some things here at Priester's that have given us the opportunity to grow the business. We've had some setbacks through fires and maybe some bad business decisions along, but we've been able to stick with it, and we're a really good time to see our, like I say, the fourth generation involved.
As for the future, Thomas says he hopes to expand the farm by purchasing land currently rented from neighbors, while continuing to grow the cattle and pecan operations for his 3 sons who work in the business.
We're looking forward to transitioning into probably buying a little more property and expanding there, so we actually own more of those assets, and the property that we've rented are families that are much like ours, that we're looking for somebody that would do a nice job of taking care of their property. And I had somebody tell me once, if you did a really good job with other people's things and treat it like your own, then that would take you places, and that's been that way. So we have an opportunity to do that. And here at Priester's, we've got pretty bold sales growth goals. We're trying to grow sales here so we can not only take care of our family and our boys, but we have a lot of families that depend on this business that are, right here in the community.
The Ellises are active in Alabama Farmers Federation, Alabama Cattlemen's Association, Southeastern Livestock Expo, and Hope Hull United Methodist Church. That's Thomas and Melissa Ellis of Triple E Farm in Lowndes County. Circle W Farms in Henry County leaves little to chance. By taking advantage of irrigation, new technology, and intense management practices, Andy and Karen Williams have helped grow their family row crop and cattle farm from less than 300 acres 40 years ago to 10 times that amount today.
We farm 3,000 acres. We own 2,100 acres. We've got 400 mama cows, brood cows that we have. We have roughly 800 acres of timberland that we manage, and we grow it like a crop, just like corn, cotton, and peanuts. Cotton, we usually have around 650 acres of cotton, close to 500 acres of peanuts, and 300 to 350 acres of corn. We have irrigation on our place, on our farm. We have a little over 900 acres of irrigated cropland. All our corn is irrigated. We have usually a very good yield on our corn. The last 2 years have been off. We're around 225, 230 of actual bushels that we sell.
Andy, who farms with his brother Sammy, brother-in-law Glenn Will, and son Jason, has installed pumping stations and pipelines to deliver irrigation water to their crops.
We've got one pumping station that we pump water 10,860 feet through a 10-inch pipeline. We have 2 pumping stations off that pipeline that we pump directly off the pipeline, and then any excess goes into the a reservoir that we pump out of also. We get water anywhere we can, and we're blessed to have some good, real fertile land. We make good yields. We've noticed that with irrigation you get more organic matter through your corn and actually get higher yields through that. So it's a safety net for us too. It's a lot of work, but with the new technology we can control a lot of the irrigation circles with our phones and monitor them, set them to do all kind of different things. That makes us more efficient, that while I'm spraying I can actually be watching the irrigation circle while I'm spraying.
In October of 2018, Hurricane Michael devastated the cotton and peanut crops and caused damage to fences, timber, and barns. Andy says the family's been able to overcome setbacks by being self-sufficient.
We put our faith in God. We feel that God's going to take care of us. We have our irrigation that we back up on, but it's something that you, as a farmer, you cannot worry about the weather. It does affect you, but you cannot let it stress you out. We're not cutting back on our inputs, on our fertilizer. That's stuff you cannot cut back on farming. You cannot cut back fertilizer, your seeding rate, or any of the things, the irrigation. You've got to keep doing that, but you run your equipment a little longer, you do repairs, you just keep running the equipment that you got instead of buying newer. Our farm, we're self-sufficient in a lot of ways. We save our own peanut seed. We have our own sheller that is 83 years old. We try to cut, I hate to say cut people out of work, but we try to utilize all the work ourselves. We have our own bulldozer, excavator, backhoe, doing as much of the work as we can. We do our mechanic work, our maintenance. We try to save as much money as we can. We spread out on fertilizer, lime. We buy it as cheap and as bulk as we can, try to buy our inputs as cheap as we can.
The Williamses are active in the Alabama Farmers Federation, Alabama Cattlemen's Association, Wiregrass RC&D Council, and Columbia United Methodist Church. That's Andy and Karen Williams of Circle W Farms in Henry County.